Disney World isn't all magic and wishes. Sometimes things go very wrong. Since we're there all the time, we have quite a few stories, and today we're sharing some of the worst with you, so you know just what to do if disaster strikes. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. We're constantly helping you out with tips and tricks, we hope at least, to have the best Disney World trip you possibly can. But what happens when things go wrong? And we mean very wrong. This isn't a video about dropping your ice cream cone or a restaurant being out of your favorite dish. We're talking about when your hotel reservation is straight up canceled. We're talking about when someone has to be rushed to the emergency room, when your hotel reservation is straight up canceled, the dining plan you spent thousands on just won't work, and more terrible things like that won't, but could happen on your trip. These are the worst things that have happened to our DFB team in Disney World, and we want you to know how to handle them so you don't lose entire days trying to fix them. All right, first one, double reservations. Disney technology is pretty amazing, but all of your reservations are organized right in the My Disney Experience app, so it's really easy to double check your vacation details, and you definitely should double check everything before you leave. And that, by the way, means sometimes calling and confirming reservations before you leave. One of our team members said, "We had our entire reservation duplicated at another resort and then ultimately deleted completely. Somehow the first resort reservation was not deleted, and we ended up spending most of our 2-day whirlwind trip at the front desk of the resort and at guest relations. This resulted in our dining plan being frozen and the room locking us out. We went straight to the parks from the airport, so we only learned of the problems as we tried to use the dining plan, and we were told we didn't have it. And then when trying to access our room with the Magic Band, it wouldn't open after a long day of park hopping. This resulted in our entire reservation having to be deleted and rebooked. We were refunded for the food we had to purchase and ultimately given double our snack credits and given a free resort stay to come back the next year." Now, this glitch is probably not very common, but something like this can cause big problems, and who wants to spend their entire first day at guest services trying to sort things out? So double check everything before you check in. You can check your reservation details on the Disney website or in the app, and you can also call to confirm your reservations, 407-934-7639. Now, here's something that happened to me. I had 2 reservations for the same dates. I called to cancel one and was told that both reservations had already been canceled, even though they were both still showing up in the My Disney Experience app. So just because a reservation is showing up in the app, it may not actually be there. Hopefully this is an uncommon glitch, but calling and confirming your reservation is the safest bet to make sure everything will go as planned. So if you make sure everything is set before you check in, you should be good to go, but definitely call. All right, similar vein, but what if there's a check-in glitch? So you want to make sure you are definitely 100% checked in before you go about your day. We have on more than one occasion dropped our bags at the resort and gone straight to the parks without stopping by the front desk. With Disney's online check-in services, this is totally doable, and right now Disney's asking guests to use online check-in rather than visiting the front desk when they arrive. So when you do online check-in, you'll enter all of your standard check-in info, add a credit card for room incidentals and charging, confirm all of your contact info, etc., but you'll want to make sure everything actually went through. You should receive a text the morning of check-in to confirm that you are checked in. You'll receive another when your room is ready, by the way. But if you don't get that text, definitely stop by the front desk. On one trip, not everything saved when one of our team members used online check-in and the whole thing canceled out, meaning they did have to check in at the front desk. And they only knew that because they never received a text. If you're using the Disney dining plan, which is supposed to be activated at check-in, you'll definitely want to make sure you are officially checked in or you won't be able to use those credits. On this same trip, our team member went straight to breakfast at Be Our Guest only to find their dining plan wasn't registering because they weren't officially checked in. They had to go to guest services where they were able to verify that they did have dining credits, but by then breakfast at Be Our Guest was over. A cast member at guest services was able to make another reservation for later in the week, even though it was completely booked up. Disney will always try to make things right when and if they can. But the moral of the story, make sure you're officially checked in and everything's squared away before you head out to the parks and get an inconvenient surprise. Okay, let's talk about Magic Bands. Magic Bands are another piece of awesome tech that help to streamline your vacation. The RFID-enabled bands act as your ticket and room key, and they are linked to your individual My Disney Experience account, which can get complicated if you have some family members with the same name or similar names staying in different rooms, as we discovered. covered. Now, my mom and I have the same name, and our magic bands kept locking us out of our rooms because they had us in the wrong places. We'd wait at guest services to get it fixed, and then they'd work for a day and then mess up again the next day. And the worst part of it was we were in one of those far, far, far away from the front desk rooms, so we had to keep trekking down each time. I had a baby at the time, so it was a huge hassle. So make sure that everyone in your group has a My Disney Experience account and that the correct magic band and park tickets and room are linked to each person. Don't mix up those magic bands. If you're getting them along with your hotel reservation, Disney will print names on the inside of the band, but you can always write that on yourself or put some other kind of identifier for your family when they pick similar bands. If you have family members with the same name, consider using a nickname for one account. That might help clear up confusion in the system. All right, let's talk injuries and illnesses. Probably the last thing you want to happen on a Disney vacation, especially right now, is to get sick on your trip or to have someone suddenly need an ambulance or emergency room visit. If you find you're feeling sick on your trip, you can visit Disney's First Aid or stop by your hotel gift shop to pick up over-the-counter cold medicine or something for an upset stomach and other minor illnesses. If you need a prescription medication, you can use Turner Drugs as a prescription delivery service to the hotels and parks on property for a fee. If you have a fever or any COVID-19 symptoms, Disney asks that you do not go to the parks. If you have a fever, you will not be granted entrance to the parks, and neither will your entire traveling party. It's a good idea to stay quarantined in your room and make decisions from there. Many CVS or Walgreens locations are offering testing right now, but you should be able to contact your front desk safely from your room phone and ask for guidance on what to do if this does happen. Feeling a bit under the weather at Disney right now can be a lot more stressful, but please take the time to assess the situation. The parks can wait. It's not worth putting yourself and others at risk. Now, our team has lots of stories of twisted ankles, hurt knees, slipping on stairs, slipping by the pool, tripping over the trolley tracks on Main Street. Okay, maybe we're a little accident prone around here, but these things can and do happen, and obviously they're unexpected and not what you want to be dealing with on your vacation, especially when you need to walk so much in Disney World. We even have a couple of stories of family members fainting or falling and needing to be rushed to the hospital. The Reedy Creek municipality, created and run by Disney World, does have its own fire department and emergency staff who can quickly get on property to manage any major medical issues. And we've spent our share of evenings at the Celebration Hospital emergency room with parents who took a fall and needed to be evaluated, or kids who had asthma attacks and needed to be seen by a doctor. Don't panic. You can rest assured that there are trained medical staff nearby, no matter what accidents or injuries you may encounter. But before you travel, be sure to have prescription information and any other medical details handy, just in case you need to share them with a doctor in an emergency. Now, if something less emergent happens, Disney has first aid services in all of the parks, and your front desk can help you out if something happens at your resort. You'll be able to purchase over-the-counter pain relievers at your resort's gift shop, and if you need to see a doctor, Disney will indeed help get you where you need to go. There are even doctors that can come and do house calls, and don't forget, something that's really helped me in hotel visits last year was signing up for a virtual doctor visit app. My particular insurance company offers one, so I was able to sign up for that and have virtual doctor visits where the doctor can actually prescribe whatever you need. So, for example, last year, my son had the flu while we were traveling, and we were able to get him prescribed some Tamiflu, and I was even prescribed prophylactic Tamiflu so that I wouldn't experience such awful symptoms if I did happen to get the flu. So that was incredibly useful to be able to have that virtual doctor's visit through that app. So if you don't have one of those on your phone and you are headed to Walt Disney World, go ahead and get one of those loaded up before you go. Now, if something else happens and you can't walk, you can rent a scooter or ECV directly from Disney to use in the parks if you find you're unable to walk for a good portion of your trip. They'll cost $50 per day to rent, which might be worth it if you've thrown your knee out at the very beginning of your trip. And of course, we all have got those blister stories. Wear comfortable shoes, bring a backup pair, and bring some moleskin to cover up those hot spots or blisters that might develop. You're walking a lot in Disney World, you guys, close to 10 miles per day for most people. So if you're really spending a lot of time in the parks, that can do a number on your feet that you're not even prepared for. All right, let's talk about lost items. The worst has got to be losing your wallet and ID and needing to fly home. This happened to me. If you're flying domestically and you're a US citizen, TSA should be able to help you out and get you on your flight. You'll need to arrive early to the airport to allow plenty of time for them to verify your identity sans ID card. You'll be interviewed and they'll check publicly available databases to confirm your identity. Once they do that, you'll probably be allowed to pass through TSA security without an ID. Make sure you have backup payment options. Losing your wallet means losing your credit and debit card, so stick a backup card somewhere else just in case. This is what they needed for me. They needed to see my name on multiple other cards so that it confirmed it was me. And another great tip is to photocopy some of your identification cards and keep those somewhere other than your wallet, or even safer and better, make sure that someone at home has those photocopies. So if something happens, you can call them, they can take a picture of that and send it to you, or they can even email it to an authority who needs to see that you are who you say you are. Now, if you've lost your wallet or anything else in the parks or at your resort, you can fill out a lost item report online by visiting chargerback.com/DisneyWorld. This is where you'll be directed if you stop by guest services as well. FYI, this lost and found system has changed over the past couple of years. If you haven't been to Disney World in about 5 years, you'll remember a different lost and found system. You literally call and you fill out a report. Well, now it's all done online. So if you've lost something recently, retrace your steps, ask cast members at places you were earlier in the day. They may have found it and you can catch it before your lost item heads off to the main lost and found headquarters. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through this online system. All right, another disaster that happens way too often, getting left behind. Sometimes it's not items that get lost, but it's you or your family members. We've seen the intense and understandable stress when kids separate from their parents and can't be found. We've also seen the happy opposite side of that when cast members expertly handle the situation and reunite those families. If kids get separated, find a cast member right away. Teach your kids what a cast member's name tag looks like and that they need to look for someone that has that name tag if they're lost. Those cast members will alert other cast members in the area and everyone will keep an eye out. Talk to your little ones ahead of the trip. Show them that name tag, tell them they can ask anyone wearing one of those for help if something happens. And cast members will stay with your child in the place where they were found for a few minutes. Often families are reunited very, very quickly. But if more time has passed, younger kids will be taken to the baby care center and older kids will be taken to guest services. If your teens or even adults get separated from one another, be sure to set up a meeting spot. Phones can die, or maybe you just don't have service to text or call, so have a backup meeting spot that if anybody gets separated, that's where you're going to meet at a specific time. So have that backup plan. All right, another disaster you might have to deal with in Disney World that's happened to us and our team is having to deal with major problems back home. Some of the worst things that have happened on our Disney trips have actually happened back home while we were on vacation. One of our team members' parents' house caught fire and they found out just as they sat down to dinner in Epcot. They spent a lot of their trip on the phone trying to make sure family members and pets were okay, which thankfully everybody was. Other team members have had to cut vacations short for emergencies. If you need to cancel, move, or cut a trip short due to an emergency, Disney can be extremely helpful. In our team's experience, Disney will waive cancellation or change fees if the circumstances are due to an emergency. When one team member had to leave early due to a hurricane headed toward their house, they were refunded for all of the nights left on their hotel reservation and received a voucher for the number of days left on their ticket. I personally have had to leave hotels early for various emergency reasons, and it's never been a problem. So definitely talk to Disney directly and find out if anything can be done to help out when it comes to waiving fees or refunding anything you weren't able to do. Now, Disney will always try to help and make things right if they can, so if something is going wrong, don't hesitate to talk to a cast member and ask for help. A lot of the things are not very common. They are truly the worst things that have happened to our team in Disney World. But for all these bad things that have happened, we've also had dozens of flawless and amazing trips. So don't stress, but be prepared and do the legwork to make sure all of your reservations are squared away. Ask for help when you need it. Be prepared for those backup plans if someone gets lost. Know what to do if somebody gets sick. And always just be prepared. Hopefully this video has helped you. We have a few other videos where we talk about crazy weird things that happen in Disney World that you'd never expect would happen and tell you how to kind of get yourself out of those scrapes. those are some of my favorite videos because those give me the opportunity to kind of share the totally weird and unexpected things that have happened to us at Disney World. And that's always my goal with these videos. When I think about what to do videos about, I'm always thinking about what situations have I found myself in that I don't want you guys to ever find yourselves in. And if you do, how you can get out of it quickly and unscathed. So that's definitely something I think about when I'm trying to figure out what videos are going to be the most helpful and valuable for you guys. So I hope this one's helped, and there's several others that will help you prepare as well. So thanks for listening, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you have helpful information to share with our viewers, please leave a comment how you've gotten yourself out of some of these scrapes, or if there are specific experiences you've had that you think can help other viewers. We'd love to hear about them in the comments. And as always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.